There is something that has been weighing heavily on my heart, and I cannot stay silent any longer. Every day, I become more aware of the stories, opinions, and assumptions that have been spreading about you. It hurts to know that so many people have chosen to create a version of you that doesn't reflect the person I have always known deep within my soul. They speak with confidence as if they know every chapter of your life, every reason behind your decisions, and every emotion hidden behind your smile. Yet they have never walked in your shoes. They have never carried your burdens. They have never felt the silent battles you have fought when no one was watching. The words being spoken are heartbreaking because they paint a picture filled with doubt, criticism, and misunderstanding. Some claim that you have changed for the worse. Others insist that your intentions have never been genuine. There are even those who try to convince me that everything we once shared was built on lies. They speak as though they hold every answer, but the louder they talk, the more I realize how little they truly understand. I have listened, not because I believed every word, but because I wanted to understand why so many voices suddenly seemed determined to rewrite your story. The more I listened, the more I recognized a common thread. Very few people were speaking from personal experience. Most were repeating rumors they had heard from someone else. They added their own assumptions, their own frustrations, and their own judgments until the original truth became almost impossible to recognize. It is painful because every false story creates another wall between hearts that were never meant to be separated by fear or misunderstanding. I know that nobody is perfect. You have made mistakes, just as I have. Every human being carries regrets, moments they wish they could erase, and decisions they wish they could make differently. But mistakes do not define a person's entire identity. Growth cannot happen without failure, and wisdom often comes through painful lessons. Many people only notice the moments when someone falls. They rarely stay long enough to witness the strength it takes to stand back up. They remember the words spoken during moments of anger but forget the countless acts of kindness that came before them. They focus on disappointment because it is easier to criticize than to understand. I refuse to let other people's opinions become the foundation of how I see you. I want to know your heart, not their version of it. I want to understand your silence instead of allowing others to interpret it for me. There is a difference between hearing someone's story and hearing gossip disguised as concern. That difference matters more than ever. Some have tried to convince me that you no longer care. They insist that you have completely moved on and that nothing we shared ever meant as much to you as it did to me. Those words were difficult to hear because they challenged everything I believed. Yet every time I reflect on the connection we once had, I remember moments that cannot be explained away by rumors. Genuine emotions leave lasting impressions that cannot simply disappear because someone else chooses to question them. There are people who build themselves up by tearing others down. They find satisfaction in creating division where peace once existed. They believe that if they repeat something often enough, it will eventually be accepted as truth. Unfortunately, many people never stop to question what they hear. They simply pass the story along, making it larger with every conversation. I do not want to become another voice adding to that cycle. Instead, I want to search for honesty. Honesty is not always comfortable, but it is always worth pursuing. It requires patience, humility, and the willingness to admit when our first impression was incomplete. Sometimes I wonder if you know what has been said. Perhaps you have heard whispers that people question your character, your loyalty, or your motives. Maybe you have already grown tired of defending yourself because no explanation ever seems good enough for those who have already made up their minds. If that is true, I want you to know that I see beyond the noise. I recognize that every person deserves to be understood before they are judged. Life has a way of revealing truth over time. False stories may spread quickly, but they rarely survive forever. Eventually, actions become stronger than accusations. Character becomes more visible than rumors. Integrity shines brighter than criticism. Time has a remarkable way of exposing what was hidden while also correcting what was misunderstood. No matter how confusing things may seem right now, I believe that truth has a quiet strength that never fades. It does not need constant attention or endless arguments to prove itself. It simply remains steady while everything else changes around it. That gives me hope, even during moments when uncertainty feels overwhelming. If there are things you wish you had done differently, I hope you continue growing instead of allowing regret to control your future. If there are things people completely misunderstood, I hope the opportunity comes for clarity to replace confusion. Above all, I hope you never lose sight of the value that already exists within you simply because others refuse to recognize it. The opinions of strangers can be loud, but they should never become the measure of your worth. The judgments of those who only know fragments of your story should never determine your future. You are more than the conversations happening behind closed doors. You are more than the labels others try to place upon you. You are still writing your story, and no rumor has the authority to write the ending for you.